movement. এটা আমরা অ্যাডাল্টরা যারা বাংলাদেশে বড় হয়েছি স্কুলে লেখাপড়া করছি আমরা কম বেশি সবাই জানি কিন্তু এটা 10 মিনিটের একটা প্রেজেন্টেশন I prepared mostly for our kids that our next generation যারা এখানে they were born and brought up may or may not have the opportunity to know the history. So 10 মিনিটে যতটুকু একটু chronologically একটু দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করছি যে বাকিটা তোমাদের তোমরা if that generates enough interest in you then you can go and read and find out more details about it. And so it is not an analytical history, rather more descriptive to incite enough interest in your kid. So next slide. So the British invaded India. The history is that invaded India in guise of trade. The East India Company that came in the Indian region, and then eventually colonized the whole Indian subcontinent. And they did it in 1757. They ruled it for the next 200 years. At that time, India was this whole part, excluding I think this kind of red border. I wasn't exactly sure again. এই অংশ থেকে নিয়ে India all the way there. This was the Greater India. ছিল এবং এই পুরো ইন্ডিয়াটাকে almost 200 years the British ruled from Britain. Okay. Next slide. So in 1947 the Greater India whole country was partitioned and it was partitioned into two independent states. One was India, the other one was Pakistan. So if you go back, I mean one more time to the slide. The strange part of this partition was like this. So if you see this map, you will understand, because this is important to know, like where all these conflicts were coming from. Part of the reason is that the country was split into two parts. One is India, which is this orange part, this part and this part. And the other part was Pakistan. Pakistan was West Pakistan and East Pakistan. So this is the two part of the same country. And between these two parts, there were almost 1,000 miles apart. Geographically, it was a kind of a unique partition not seen in any part of the world in history, and it's very strange. Now the question is why the partition was like that. It was mostly primarily driven by the religious divide of the major population segment in this country. The two major contending religion was Muslim and the Hindus. The Hindus were primarily in this, they left in the Indian region and this formed this country India. The Muslims, they took this part, West Pakistan and East Pakistan. And so Muslims were, so whoever were here during the partition, many people had to leave their motherland or homeland at that time because, let's say for example, somebody was Muslim and for 100 years were living here with his or her families, everything. After the partition, they either chose to go there or here because they were Muslim, and vice versa. Those they were a Hindu, but were living there with their families and everything, maybe here, but after the partition, they were forced to leave and to go and leave India because that was the more viable solution for them. So it was strange.
I think probably instead of using the word partition, I don't know how familiar everybody is. Probably it's the time when British left, and they left their whole India into two countries. So the word partition came because it was partitioned in two countries.
Right.
So divided. So
Divided,
it
yeah,
means
exactly.
divided nations with
Okay, do you have a next slide?
Next slide. Okay. এখন এখানে so two independent split. Pakistan was primarily Muslim majority and had two wings, East Pakistan, West Pakistan, that I explained through the map. And the interesting thing is that in total Pakistan, the 69 million population was at that time in 1947, roughly around 69 million population. And out of that, majority, 44 million population was in the east part of the Pakistan. So East Pakistan had the majority of the total Pakistan population, 44 million out of 66 million. But in the whole Pakistan, the governance, if you think about the governance, the civil services, and the military and all these big institutions were dominated by the West Pakistan, which were the minority at that time. So that was in the very beginning, was a beginning of a conflict or what should I say?
Not
just partitions, as you see, it was brewing from the very beginning. So the reason I bring this statistic is that 1952 যে এই মুভমেন্টটা শুরু হয়, এটা just did not come from the backyard or just from the language. It has other aspects there that kind of led to all these things together. So So one of those aspects where this is this inconsistency.
more illiterate people থাকতো বেশি
Huh?
illiterate people mostly থাকতো East Pakistan
No.
No.
that is
Statistics
wrong.
বলে যে education literacy rate is Pakistani was not higher than West Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So these are the good statistics that we need to know. And আমি কিছু statistics show করব পরে.
Next slide.
Okay, yeah, next slide. Now, language. The Bengalis were the largest ethnic group in East Pakistan. East Pakistan, it had the majority of the population, 44 million. And within that 44 million, the majority of them, probably 95% or more, were Bengali. And the language, one unified language, Bangla was the language. And it was irrespective of the religious orientation, and Bangla was the language of the Bengali. So East Pakistan, a small minority chilo Hindus, majority chilo Musliman, কিন্তু সবার language chilo Bangla, one single language. On the other hand, on the West Pakistan, there were pluralistic language there, like there were